Today, Sheriff Joe Arpaio and I have announced the creation of a new public interest group, America's Sheriff. You can go to freedomwatchusa.org to see what we do at Freedom Watch, but this is a separate organization that will work in tandem with Freedom Watch and other groups. And it's a 501c3 nonprofit. The purpose is to promote and protect law enforcement, taking hard actions, not just talking, as we've seen with President Trump and the Attorney General. And we support President Trump and his efforts, but he's got to be more aggressive. And we hope that he will join with America's Sheriff to do what needs to be done. He's starting to do that. We appreciate what he does. As I said, Larry Klayman, in his personal capacity, I know the sheriff as well, supports the president and will vote for the president. That's something that we say in our personal capacity, not as heads of public interest groups. But the violence continues. And that's why you need a group like America's Sheriff to peacefully and legally wage a second American revolution, because without law enforcement, we are left defenseless, and they continue to be maimed and killed by the radical left. Now, no one else is coming to the defense of law enforcement in all reality. And at Freedom Watch, I already have a lawsuit, and you're going to see more lawsuits coming out of America's Sheriff with regard to the mayor of Philadelphia, the so-called Jim Kenney, who, when served, hung up on the process server with our complaint, and I'll tell you about that. The current police commissioner, Danielle Outlaw, great name, isn't it? She comes from Portland, Oregon, not coincidentally. She's an African-American female. She's there basically for show, not for dough. They replaced the former police commissioner, Richard Ross, who was fired for sexual harassment, if you can believe that. And she ran from the process server. She had her daughter slam the door in the face of the process server, a complaint that we brought. And the purpose of that complaint is because about 170 Philadelphia police officers without due process were fired for postings that were made on their social media account, which weren't racist. Their only crime is that they're primarily white and male. There are also others involved, non-African Americans. An African-American female police officer actually posted something in the last several weeks that said white people shouldn't bother wearing masks for COVID-19. They should just wear what they normally should wear, which are the hoods of the Ku Klux Klan. Nothing happened to her. You can see that for political purposes, the mayor, who was up for re-election at the time, and the district attorney elected with the money of self-hating Jew George Soros, someone who, with his dad, confiscated the property of his fellow Jews going to their death in gas chambers and ovens during World War II to save his own skin. And also with regard to the police commissioners, Richard Ross and now Daniel Outlaw, the white male cop in particular is being persecuted in Philadelphia, and they were fired without given due process rights or forced to resign, constructive termination, given everything that's going on. Now, Philadelphia is the second biggest murder capital of this country right now. It's my native city. I take a personal interest in this. So we filed a lawsuit, a civil rights complaint, for the conduct of these city officials who are running from process servers. Remind you of something? Remind you of Nancy Pelosi getting her hair done in a salon without a mask, contrary to California edicts? Unbelievable. You see, the law doesn't apply to these people. And we also sued an entity called the Plainview Project, which we think is financed by George Soros. It's not even really incorporated. They're the ones that hacked illegally the social media accounts of the Philadelphia policemen. Now, I've had Philadelphia policemen in my family. My brother was a Philadelphia cop. So I know what goes on, and I know how good he was when he was a policeman. And this is something that needs to be done, because if nobody stands up for our police, we're left defenseless. These radical leftists are going to be in front of your house very, very soon. They've already done this in some cities. African-American black separatists, members of the Jewish left. This guy named Rosenbaum is the one who attacked a 17-year-old kid the other day that forced him into self-defense to shoot and to ultimately kill someone. This was self-defense. And radical atheists, radical Muslims, radicals of all stripes, radicals of all sexes and persuasions are out there trying to destroy the vision of our founding fathers to install a Marxist state. And who's helping them? Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Democrats, because they realize if they could consolidate a hold on power by controlling the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives all at the same time, they're going to bow down to these radical leftists because they think that will get the job done for them and destabilize the country such that they will be able to take it over in November. Now, again, I don't tell you who to vote for. I don't, as the head of a public interest group. Larry Klayman has his own personal opinions, and so does Sheriff Joe Arpaio. He's the same. But I urge you to join America's Sheriff, as well as freedomwatchusa.org. You can see America's Sheriff at americassheriff.org, O-R-G, America's Sheriff with two S's in the middle, .org, because we, the American people, need to wage a peaceful and legal revolution. I wrote a recent book, and it's on pre-order on Amazon.com, on Barnes & Noble, and Borders.com, on Books A Million, called It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. It's a play on Hillary Clinton's It Takes a Village. We don't believe in socializing the country through It Takes a Village, but we will use ourselves as village people to rise up, to save this country, because we are headed down very, very quickly. And again, I urge you to peacefully and legally use your Second Amendment rights, get yourself armed, don't be offensive, don't use them on other people, only keep them for self-defense, but they are coming for you. And you need to be prepared. And this is something which I say very seriously. And also, the militias are much maligned. Militias are legal in our Second Amendment. This is why our founding fathers put it into our Second Amendment with the right to bear arms, because the American people need to rise up. They need to defend themselves. And as long as militias act peacefully and legally, it's not a dirty word. And we have a new American militia at Freedom Watch as well. So we are in a crisis. Let there be no mistake about it. Our Justice Department is inert. The Attorney General, William Barr, is virtually worthless. He's just words, doesn't hold anybody accountable for anything. Just yesterday, he issues an order in terms of procedures now for spying on politicians. That reminds me of the campaign finance scandal with Chinagate, where McCain and Feingold introduced a bill so they could get rid of a real investigation of China's bribery of the Clinton administration, and also Republicans for that matter. But now Barr says, okay, now we have these new rules. That means he's not going to indict anybody. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by what you read or see in Hannity's book or on his TV. In fact, Hannity's book basically is a charade. It just is a regurgitation of his nightly monologues, which are always the same. And then it says, vote for Donald Trump. Well, you know what? Larry Klayman's going to vote for Donald Trump. So is Sheriff Arpaio, and we support him personally. But what do you do after 4 years? Where's the country going to be then? We're going to be in a worse shape then than we are now, much worse, assuming we're even alive at that time. So I say all of this today, take it to heart. Support freedomwatchusa.org. Go to americassheriff.org and enlist in that and support that as well. They're separate groups, but they work for similar goals, slightly different. America's Sheriff is to protect and preserve our police, taking hard-hitting legal actions, and Freedom Watch is more of an umbrella organization to support the rule of law and our Constitution. So God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe. God save America. Listen to my weekly radio show this week on Special Prosecutor with Larry Klayman. We're going to have Sheriff Joe Arpaio on, and keep the faith, because God is with us, but we have to do it for ourselves. These are the times that try men's souls. It's not time for the summer patriot or the sunshine patriot, as Thomas Paine would say. And every man and woman will give homage to those among our populace who stand up for our rights and the vision of our founding fathers created in my native city of Philadelphia on July 4th, 1776. God bless you, and thank you for listening to me.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's no better feeling than grilling out, and there's no better place than Ace to get the best grill for you and your family. We have the hottest grills from top brands like Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Weber. And since our stores are locally owned and we're committed to helping our neighbors, we'll also assemble and deliver your grill for free. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their grills. Offer valid for Ace Rewards members through September 7th on grills and accessories $3.99 and up. See participating stores for scheduling or exclusions.